Hello everyone, I am Virendra Yadav from IIT Roorkee, India. I would like to thank CEDAR for providing this virtual platform. I am here to present a very peculiar observation of complex interaction between MSTIDs and mid-latitude plasma depletions over geomagnetic low and mid-latitude transition region. This is a geographical map of India, and in blue over here you have geomagnetic latitude. A bunch of places where upper atmospheric observations are carried out are also shown. So you have Tirunelveli, an equatorial location, Gadanki at low latitude. Ahmedabad lies more or less at the crest of equatorial ionization anomaly, and then as you move towards the northern boundary of India, you are transitioning towards mid latitudes. I'm using the word transition because you have not yet reached the mid latitudes, but you are not at the low latitudes either. So we were interested to investigate the upper atmospheric processes in this transition region, and that's why at Hanle, which is located in the northern Himalayas at an altitude of about 4,200 meters from mean sea level, so it's a very cold and arid region. The high altitude optical aeronomy observatory was installed. It became operational in June 2018. It's essentially an all sky airglow imager which takes the airglow observations in 630 nanometer and 557.7 nanometer wavelengths. This is the enclosure which houses the entire setup. Here you can see the dome which opens towards the sky, and this entire system is capable of taking the automatic observations. The complete system, the raw image acquisition process, geospatial calibration, the image processing methodology are all given in literature. This is the website of our observatory. I welcome you all to have a look at it. And the circle that you see over here, it represents the field of view of the all-sky airglow imager in 630 nanometers from Hanle. MSTIDs or medium scale traveling ionospheric disturbances have been widely studied for the past 2 or 3 decades, mainly using GPS receiver chains and 630 nanometer all sky airglow imagers, which has revealed their 2D structures. And we have come to know a lot of features which are the MSTIDs are essentially propagating bands of enhanced and reduced plasma density. The scale size is between 100 to 500 kilometers, much lesser than large scale TIDs, which are above 1000 kilometers. And these bands are inclined with respect to the geomagnetic north south direction. So, here you have an example of an MSTID observed over Hanle on 6 May 2019. This red dotted line represents the geomagnetic meridian, and here you can see alternate dark and bright bands. The intensity of the bands is directly proportional to the plasma density over there, which means where you have dark bands, there the plasma density is low, and where you have bright bands, there the plasma density is high. Another feature is the propagation of these bands. The horizontal phase velocity is about 30 to 200 meter per second, and these bands show equatorward propagations. So if you are in northern hemisphere, the MSTIDs show southward propagation, and if you are in southern hemisphere, the MSTIDs show northward propagation. Nighttime MSTIDs show westward propagation, and daytime MSTIDs show eastward propagation. This has been summarized nicely by this infographic given by Jonah et al., where the nighttime MSTIDs in the northern hemisphere propagate southwestward like this, which is nothing but what we observed over Hanle. Individually, MSTIDs have been observed widely. However, on rare occasions, MSTIDs have also been observed simultaneously along with field line irregularities, equatorial plasma bubbles, or plasma depletions. One such example was reported by Otsuka et al. In 2012, where an eastward moving equatorial plasma bubble decayed within 10 minutes by encountering a southwestward moving nighttime MSTID structure. So here you can see that in the third frame the EPB is not there anymore, and this decay they have explained in terms of E Crosby drift, where E is the polarization electric field within the MSTID bands. The E Crosby drift pushes the plasma from surrounding medium to the EPB and filling it. Therefore, the plasma bubble decays. Another example was given by Sun et al. In 2015, where mesoscale FAIs appeared, growth, and then ultimately decayed within MSTID structures. So here you can see that these are the MSTID fronts, and then you have these FAI structures associated with MSTIDs. We have observed a number of MSTID events using 630 nanometer observations from the Hanle imager. Out of all these cases, the night of 7th July 2018 was certainly the most spectacular one. Unfortunately, due to the presence of moon later on in the night, the entire observation period was limited to 3 hours. However, it was sufficient to reveal a lot of dynamic features. So I have this short clip over here, which is a collection of 28 images from that particular night, and you'll see here that there are these two dark bands extending from northwest to southeast direction, which is nothing but an MSTID, and I'll just play it, and you'll see that later on there were a few plasma depletions as well. There's this one, and there will be another one over here. As the night progressed, this plasma depletion got transformed into a northwest southeast oriented structure, and towards the end there was another MSTID band going from northwest to southeast direction, this one. In the 3-hour observation period there were total 28 images. We have selected 15 of those and shown here. We have also marked some of the prominent features that were observed on that particular night. So you can see that the structure in blue over here, these bands are oriented from northwest to southeast and were propagating southwestward. So this is an MSTID. We can also see that these bands are more or less bifurcated, which gives it an appearance of a fork. So we are terming it as a fork shaped MSTID. Then there are these structures, these plasma depletions, which are nearly north to south oriented. So that's why we are calling it as mid latitude field aligned plasma depletion, or MFPD. Then this is a very peculiar structure, this plasma depletion marked by yellow lines. Initially it was developing, it became more or less north-south aligned, but later on from the north you can see it is sort of leaking, and it again became northwest to southeast oriented like an MSTID band. So that's why we have termed it as ambiguous plasma depletion. And then towards the end you have another northwest to southeast running band propagating southwestward, which we have called as background MSTID. We also looked at the structures in east-west and north-south Q-grams. However, since all the structures did not cross over Hanle in the short observation period, we chose one point north and south of Hanle, similarly one point in the east and west of Hanle, and then we looked at the Q-grams at all these 5 points. Now the north-south Q-gram for point A, B and Hanle will be identical, Similarly, the east-west geogram for points C, D and Hanle will be identical, and these can be omitted if both the east-west and north-south geogram for Hanle are shown. So that's what we have done here. The upper row shows the east-west geograms and the bottom row shows the north-south geograms. So here you can see that the blue arrows are showing the fork shape MSTID, the yellow arrow shows the ambiguous plasma depletion, the green arrows show the slow moving MFPD, and the magenta arrow shows the background MSTID. So here you can see the orientation and the slope of the fork shape bands and the ambiguous plasma depletion is nearly similar, which may suggest that the ambiguous plasma depletion is an extended part of the fork shape MSTID. Whereas if you see the north-south geograms, the appearance of the ambiguous plasma depletion is clearly different from the fork shape MSTID bands, which suggests that the ambiguous plasma depletion is an independent structure. Using the processed images given in distance coordinates, we determined the horizontal drift velocity and the angle of different structures with respect to the geomagnetic north-south direction. Here you can see that all of the structures were slowing down except the background MSTID, which was moving with more or less constant drift velocity. Then the orientation of different bands, you can see that the angle was reducing for the MSTID and the ambiguous plasma depletion, whereas the background MSTID and the slow moving plasma depletion or MFPD were more or less unchanged. The sudden jump that you see in the ambiguous plasma depletion's angle over here, it is due to the leaking behavior that we saw in the airglow images from the northern edge of the plasma depletion, which transformed the plasma depletion into northwest southeast direction, similar to an MSTID band. With all this in mind, we have come to the following initial interpretation, where we know for sure that the observations on that night do not have any magnetic disturbance related origin. As it was a quiet day, the Kp index varied between 1 minus and 2. The auroral electrojet indicated very little substorm activity. At the low latitude station Gadanki in the same longitude sector, a radar showed absence of any equatorial plasma bubble in the RTI maps. A co-located digisonde did not show any spread F. A clear F layer trace was seen. Closer to Hanle at New Dunley, we saw spread F signature in the ionograms, which means that all these structures have mid-latitude origin and are not related to any equatorial phenomena. So with all this in mind, the key takeaway of the night is the contrasting behavior of the two plasma depletions. The slow westward moving plasma depletion, which we had marked in green, is unaffected throughout the night and moving westward, whereas the other plasma depletion, which we had marked in yellow and we have termed as ambiguous plasma depletion, is showing a very transient behavior, where initially it was developing, it became more and more north-south aligned, and then again it transformed to a northwest southeast oriented structure similar to an MSTID band. This is still a work in progress, we are still working on it. So that's all I have for you right now. I'll be interested in any questions, suggestions or critical comments that you may have. My email ID is there, you can contact me, and I welcome you all to our website to have a look around. Thank you.